Hello everyone, welcome to online lecture series of Set Vidya Mandir High School Junior College Science and Commerce. Myself Rajnish Pandey for chemistry. Today I will explain electrochemistry. So, simple introduction about this electrochemistry. This is the branch of physical chemistry in which we discuss the interconversion of electrical energy to chemical energy and chemical energy to electrical energy and some physical constant like conductivity, resistance, etc. In this chapter, I will cover these topics: electrical conductance of solution, conductivity, Colar's law, molar conductivity and degree of dissociation, types of electrochemical cells, Nernst equation. Now thermodynamic and galvanic cells. First, electrical conductance of solution. As we know that according to Ohm's law, the electrical resistance R of a conductor is equal to the electrical potential difference V and divided by electric current I. So we can say that R is equal to V by I. So unit SI unit of potential is volt. SI unit of current is ampere. The unit of electrical resistance is ohm, that is denoted by symbol omega. Thus, ohms is equal to V per means volt per ampere. The electrical conductance G, this electrical conductance represented by capital G, of a solution is reciprocal of resistance, means G is equal to 1 by R. The SI unit of G is Siemens, that is denoted by S, which is equal to per ohms. Therefore, we write Siemens is equal to per ohm, or that is equal to ampere per volt. So, otherwise C per volt means what? C is the represent coulomb. Now see here, the unit of electricity related to current strength in ampere and time in second as C is equal to A. The electrical resistance of a conductor is proportional to length L and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area A. Thus, we can say that R directly proportional to L and inversely proportional to A. Otherwise, R is equal to rho L by A, where this rho is what? Proportionality constant is called resistivity of the conductor. It is resistance of conductor of unit length and unit cross-sectional area. Now conductivity K. We have seen that electrical conductance G is equal to 1 by R and R is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area. That means G is directly proportional to electrical conductance G is directly proportional to cross-sectional area A and inversely proportional to length L. Thus, we can write K is equal to G into L by A, Otherwise, instead of G, we can write 1 by R. So K is equal to 1 by R into L by A. The proportionality constant K is called conductivity. G is equal to K if length and cross-sectional area of conductor are unity. Thus, conductivity is the electrical conductance of a conductor of unit length and unit cross-sectional area. In other words, the conductivity is the electrical conductance of unit cube of material. Conductivity of solution of an electrolyte is called electrolytic conductivity, which refers to the electrical conductance of unit volume. See this, G is equal to, G is directly proportional to cross section area A and inversely proportional to length L. Otherwise, G is equal to K into A by L, where K is what? Conductivity. Units of electrolytic conductivity: length SI meter and common units are centimeter, area meter square, otherwise centimeter square, resistance ohm, conductivity per ohm per meter, otherwise Simon per meter, here per ohm per centimeter. Molar conductivity, it is denoted by capital lambda. See here, the electrolytic conductivity is not suitable for comparing conductivities of different solutions. The conductivity of a solution depends on number of ions present in unit volume of solution. So the solution of higher concentration contains more ions and exhibit higher conductivity than the solution of the lower concentration. To compare conductivities of different solutions, they must have the same concentration. It means this molar conductivity depends upon number of ions present in per unit volume. So German physicist Collatz introduced the term molar conductivity denoted by capital lambda. The molar conductivity of an electrolyte solution is the electrolytic conductivity K divided by its molar concentration C. Therefore, we can say that capital lambda is equal to K by C. According to Collatz law, this definition, molar conductivity is equal to the conductivity divided by its concentration. So, capital lambda is equal to K by C. Unit of K is what? Simon per meter. Unit of C is what? Mole per meter cube. And unit of capital lambda is equal to Simon meter square per mole. This is the SI unit. Otherwise, common unit is what? Per ohm centimeter square per mole. Relation between K and lambda means conductivity and molar conductivity. Conductivity K is electrical conductance of 1 centimeter cube of solution. If V is the volume of solution in the centimeter cube containing 1 mole of dissolved electrolyte, V is the volume of solution in centimeter cube in which 1 mole of electrolyte will dissolve. Its electrical conductance is capital lambda. Each 1 centimeter cube portion in the volume V has conductance K. Hence, total conductance of V centimeter cube of solution is what? K into V, which is molar conductivity. Thus, we have capital lambda is equal to K into V. Concentration of solution C, mole per liter, otherwise that is equal to the C mole per liter divided by 1000 centimeter cube per liter, otherwise equal to the C upon 1000 mole per centimeter cube. So volume V of solution in centimeter cube contains 1 mole of an electrolyte is reciprocal of concentrations. Therefore, V is equal to 1 upon concentration, that will be equal to the 1000 by C centimeter cube per mole. So finally we can say that when we substitute the value, then we get capital lambda is equal to 1000 K by C. This is important formula which used for the calculation, where capital lambda is the molar conductivity, K is the conductivity, and C is the concentration of solution. Variation of conductivity with concentration. See here, the electrolytic conductivity is electrical conductance of unit volume 1 centimeter cube of solution. On dilution, total number of ions increase as a result increased degree of dissociation. So this is the important part. When we dilute the solution, then its degree of dissociation increases. Because of that, number of ions per unit volume will increases. In increasing total number of ions is proportional to dilution. Therefore, the number of ions per unit volume of solution decreases. So variation of molar conductivity with concentration. So listen here, when we see this conductivity with concentration, so when we dilute the solution, the number of ions per unit volume decrease. So we can say that with decreasing the concentration, conductivity decreases. With increasing the concentration of solution, conductivity increases. Unlike the conductivity, molar conductivity is different. The molar conductivity is the electrical conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte in given volume of solution. The increased number of ions produced in solution by 1 mole of electrolytes lead to increased molar conductivity. So unlike the conductivity, molar conductivity, when we dilute the solution or decrease the concentration of solution, then its degree of dissociation increases and molar conductivity increases. Now strong electrolytes. Molar conductivity of solution of a strong electrolyte increase rapidly with dilution. The dilution has no effect on molar conductivity. The maximum limiting value of molar conductivity is molar conductivity at zero concentration or infinite dilution. It is denoted by capital lambda naught. What is the zero concentration? So actual zero concentration means the solution is so dilute that further dilution does not increase the molar conductivity. That dilution is called what? It's zero concentration, which is represented by capital lambda naught. During 19th century, F. Collatz with repeated experiments shows that the molar conductivity of strong electrolyte varies linearly with square root of the concentration, as the capital lambda is equal to capital lambda naught minus A root C, where A is constant of a strong electrolyte. A plot of V versus C is the linear. See this graph. This linear graph represents this strong electrolyte, and this curved graph increasing of weak electrolyte. So KCl is the strong electrolyte and CH3COOH is what? Weak electrolyte. So weak electrolyte, the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte increase rapidly on dilution. For weak electrolyte, the variation of capital lambda with root C. Molar conductivity of strong electrolyte at zero concentration can be determined by extrapolation of the linear part of the A versus root C. See here, Collard's law of independent migration of ions. This is important part. Collard's law of independent migration of ions. See the statement first. The law states that at infinite dilution, each ion migrates independent of co-ions and contributes to total molar conductivity of an electrolyte, irrespective of the nature of other ions to which it is associated. Both cation and anions contribute to molar conductivity of electrolyte at zero concentration, and thus capital lambda naught is the sum of molar conductivity of cation and that of anions at the zero concentration. Thus, capital lambda 0 is equal to n number of plus means partial lambda 0 plus n plus n minus partial lambda 0 of minus, where partial lambda plus and partial lambda minus are the molar conductivities of the cations and anions respectively, and n plus and n minus are the number of moles of cations and anions specified in chemical formula of the electrolyte. Now the theory can be based to calculate the molar conductivity of an electrolytes at zero concentration. This is the application of the Collard's law, where we use this Collard's law to calculate the molar conductivity at zero concentration of the weak electrolyte by using the molar conductivity at zero concentration of the strong electrolyte. So capital lambda KCl is equal to partial lambda K plus plus partial lambda Cl minus. Similarly, capital lambda naught BaOH twice is equal to the partial lambda Ba2 plus plus 2 partial lambda naught OH minus. The theory is particularly useful to the calculating of partial capital lambda 0 value of weak electrolytes from those of the strong electrolyte. For example, directly we cannot calculate the molar conductivity at zero concentration of the acetic acid. But by using the molar conductivity of HCl at zero concentration, molar conductivity of sodium acetate at zero concentration, and molar conductivity of NaCl at zero concentration, we can calculate the molar conductivity of acetic acid at zero concentration. See here, capital lambda CH3COOH is equal to the capital lambda HCl plus capital lambda CH3COONA minus capital lambda not NaCl. So then we get the molar conductivity of acetic acid at zero concentration. Now measurement of conductivity. This is the conductivity cell. Conductivity cell is what? It's containing this glass tube which merge this the platinum plate, and this platinum plate distance between two electrode is what? L, and cross section area is A of this platinum plate, and this solution, this cell can dip into the solutions. See this, the molar conductivity cell consists of the glass tube with two platinum plates coated with a thin layer of the fine divided platinum black. This is achieved by electrolysis of the solution, electroplating acid. The cell is dipped in a solution whose resistance is to be measured. Cell constant is what? As we know that K is equal to 1 by R into L by A. For a given cell, the ratio of separation L between the two electrodes divided by area of cross section A of an electrode is called the cell constant. Thus, cell constant is equal to L by A. L by A is represented by this small b. Unit of L by A means cell constant is equal to per meter or per centimeter. So K is equal to cell constant upon R. See here, determination of cell constant. How to calculate this cell constant? The cell constant is determined using the 1 molar, 0.1 molar or 0.01 molar KCl solution. The conductivity of KCl solution is well tabulated at various temperature. The resistance of KCl solution is measured with the help of Wheatstone bridge and cell constant KCl into R solution. By using this formula we can calculate it with the help of Wheatstone bridge. Determination of conductivity of given solution. The conductivity of given solution is then calculated as capital lambda is equal to 1000 K by C, and calculation of molar conductivity. So conductivity, for the calculation of the conductivity, look at here, this is the calculation of the conductivity by using this formula, and calculation of the molar conductivity by using this formula, because this K is what? Conductivity, and capital lambda is what? Molar conductivity. So molar conductivity, capital lambda is equal to 1000 K by C, whereas K is equal to cell constant upon R. R means resistance of the solution and K is what? Cell constant. Now, electrochemical cell. An electrochemical cell consists of two metal plates or carbon rod. These electronic conductors are dipped in an electrolytes or ionic conductor. So we consider here types of electrochemical cells. There are two types of electrochemical cells, electrolytic cells and galvanic cell or voltaic cell. So electrolytic cell means device in which electrical energy convert to chemical energy, and galvanic cell where chemical energy convert to the electrical energy. See these two types of cells. Electrolytic cell, in such cell electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy, and the anode of electrolytic cell is positive and cathode is negative, whereas in galvanic or voltaic cell, in such type of cell chemical energy convert to electrical energy, means chemical reaction produced electricity. In this cell, chemical energy convert to electrical, as I told you, and anode is negative and cathode is positive. This is important part. In electrolytic cell, anode will be positive and cathode will be negative, but in galvanic cell, anode is negative and cathode is positive. Now see the construction of cell, electrolytic cell, where we see the electrolysis of molten NaCl. So here is the cell. This is the container in which these two carbon or graphite electrodes are dipped. One is positive and second one is attached with the negative pole. Molten NaCl will dissociate into the Na plus and Cl minus, and when we pass the electricity, then reaction takes place, oxidation as well as the reduction. So electrolytic cell consists of a container in which the fused NaCl is placed. Two graphite electrodes are immersed in it. They are connected by metallic wire to a source of direct current, that is battery. See the reaction, what reaction will take place, how this process takes place, working of the cell. So when we pass the electricity, then ions will move towards the opposite electrode. Negative electrode, this Na plus ion will move towards this electrode, which is the negative, and Cl minus will move towards the positive electrode. what reaction will take place? We'll see the reaction at anode where oxidation takes place. So this Cl minus will release electron and form the Cl atom, but two Cl atom will combine and form the Cl2 gas. So releasing of electron is called what? Oxidation. So this is the oxidation half reaction at anode. In second, this sodium ion, positive ion, gain this electron and form this Na. So gain of electron is called what? Reduction. So this is the reduction half reaction, and overall reaction, when we add these two reactions, then we get what? Get Na solid and the Cl2 gas. It means what is the result of the electrolysis of molten NaCl? So after electrolysis of molten NaCl, sodium metal deposited at cathode and chlorine gas liberated at anode. But in case of aqueous NaCl, reaction will be different. Result will be different. See the reaction. First we consider the reduction half reaction at cathode. So as we know that at cathode Na plus ion will, because in NaCl, aqueous NaCl, it will also dissociate into the Na plus and Cl minus. So first we see the reaction when Na plus gain electron, then it form the Na solid, and its potential, oxidation potential is minus 2.71 volt. As well as water will also gain electron and form the H2 gas and OH minus, where its potential is the minus 0.83 volt. It means what? In case of reduction of sodium and reduction of water, potential of reduction of water is greater than the sodium. Because of that, instead of sodium ion, water will get reduced and release this hydrogen gas. Now oxidation half reaction at anode, this chloride ion will release electron from the chlorine gas and its potential is minus 1.36, whereas water when release the electron and form the oxygen gas and its potential is what? Minus 0.4. Here we are observing that potential difference of this oxidation of water is greater than the chlorine. But in this case, due to the over voltage, oxygen will not release. Instead of oxygen, chlorine gas will released. So final equation, overall reaction is what? At anode, oxidation takes place where chloride ion release electron and form the chlorine gas, and water at cathode, reduction takes place where water gain electron and form the hydrogen gas. So when we add these two reactions, then finally we get this chlorine gas liberated and hydrogen gas liberated. So hydrogen gas liberated at cathode and chlorine gas liberated at anode. Na plus ion and OH minus ion which remain, they will combine to each other and form the NaOH. So final result, hydrogen gas liberated at cathode, chlorine gas is released at anode, and NaOH flowed on the solution. Now quantitative aspects of electrolysis. As we know that according to the Faraday's law of electrolysis, Faraday's first law of electrolysis, amount of substance deposited or liberated at their respective electrode during oxidation or reduction is directly proportional to quantity of electricity passed through the solution. So what amount of substance deposited at the respective electrode can be calculated like that. First we calculate the quantity of electricity passed. In first step we have to calculate the quantity of electricity passed in the solution. So for that purpose, see, Q is equal to I into T, where Q is the coulomb electricity and I is the ampere, T is the time in second. I is the current and T is the time. current in the ampere and time in the second. Now second, we have to calculate the mole of electrons passed. So for that purpose, mole of electrons actually passed is equal to Q upon F. F is the Faraday. This is the 96,500 coulomb per mole. So for calculation of the moles of electrons actually passed is equal to Q upon 96,500 coulomb per mole. Otherwise, in short, we can say that number of moles, number of electrons actually passed is equal to Q upon F. Now in third step, we calculate the moles of product formed. So moles of product formed is equal to moles of electrons actually passed into mole ratio, whereas mole ratio is equal to moles of product formed in half reaction upon moles of electrons required in half reaction. For example, see here, for mole ratio I am going to explain this. Suppose when we take this Cu2 plus, it will gain these 2 electrons and it form Cu. In this half reaction, mole of product is what? 1 and mole of electron used is what? 2. So in this case, mole ratio is equal to 1 by 2. Now fourth step is what? Calculation of mass product. So in calculation of mass product, W mass is equal to molar product into molar mass of products. Molar product into molar mass of product. Now molar product is equal to what? According to above steps, I into T into mole ratio upon 96,500. So finally our equation is what? Our equation is what? W is equal to, we can write this here, mole of product form W is equal to I into T upon F into, this is the F, mole ratio into molar mass. So this is the final equation which used for the calculation. W is the mass of product and I is the current in ampere, T is the time in second, F is the Faradays, that is 96,500, mole ratio according to the equation, and molar mass of the substance. Now galvanic or voltaic cell. In galvanic or voltaic cells, electricity is generated through the use of spontaneous chemical reactions. A galvanic or voltaic cell is made of 2 half cells. Each half cell consists of a metal strip immersed in the solution of its own ions of known concentration. 2 half cells are constructed by immersing the 2 metal plates in solution of their respective ions placed in separate containers. The 2 half cells so constructed are combined together to form the galvanic cell. To complete the circuit of 2 half solutions are connected by conducting the medium through which cations and anions move from one compartment to the other. This required is fulfilled by the salt bridge. So in short, we can say that galvanic cell is made up by the 2 half cell. One is the reduction half cell and other is the oxidation half cell. So in reduction half cells, it's electrode immersed in its ions, and in oxidation half cell, electrode merged in the metal electrode merged in these ions. And these two half cells connected by the salt bridge which complete the circuit and maintain the neutrality of this cell. See here, salt bridge. In galvanic cell, the two solutions are connected by the salt bridge. It is U-shaped, containing a saturated solution of one inert electrolyte such as KCl or NH4NO3 and 5% agar solution. The ions of electrolytes do not react with the ions of electrodes solution or this electrolyte. See here, this two half cell which is connected by the salt bridge. Now how salt bridge is prepared? Salt bridge is prepared by filling of U glass tube with hot saturated solution of salt and agar solution, allowed it to cool. The cooled solution sets into gel which does not come out on inverting the tube, and two opening of this tube will close with the glass wool plug which only allowed to pass the ions, not allowed to pass the solution. The salt bridge is kept dipped in the distilled water when not is used. Now function of salt bridge. First, salt bridge serves the following functions. First, it provides an electrical contact between two solutions and thereby completes the electrical circuit. It prevents the mixing of two solutions. It maintains electrical neutrality of both the solutions by transfer of ions. So thank you so much. We will discuss till here. Now in next video, I will cover the remaining topics of this electrochemistry. Thank you.